PayPal has been removing more and more people from its service in an attempt to please the outraged masses, that are actually fewer in number than they make themselves out to be. Recently, Faith Goldy was removed from PayPal, being forced to use cryptocurrency to fund her career. Out of the people like her out there, I think she's okay. And even if I didn't like her, this trend of removing people's ability to make money is way over the line. Others banned from PayPal include Rufio, a pickup artist, Kyle Chapman, known as Bass Stickman, and more I can't think of at the moment. Patreon has shut down some creators as well, like Lauren Southern, and there is no healthy alternative for people targeted by the Twitter outrage mobs. Even Stripe, the only feasible alternative to PayPal at the moment, was contacted by propaganda outlets like BuzzFeed News asking why they would allow those banned from other platforms onto theirs. It's clearly a thinly veiled attempt to intimidate them into enforcing the blacklists of other companies and intimidating the onlookers from ever stepping out of line. Now, Rufio, a man who literally saved a man's life at a protest in Portland, has been removed and banned from both PayPal and GoFundMe. This is the latest in the effort to convince people to stay home and allow masked agitators to stop even the most moderate people from speaking at universities. Blacked Bloc only wants the Young Turks and their associates to be able to speak publicly. This causes any right-winger, even the most mild of them, to have to be able to spend lots of money just to speak at a university somewhere. Mostly this will affect less popular people that cannot afford the same type of security someone like Ben Shapiro can. Rufio Panman did nothing wrong, and in fact, Rufio did everything right. Next, we have a story from San Francisco, a place full of visual aids if you watch the footage of the condition of the city streets. The headline reads, San Francisco Board of Elections to allow non-citizens to vote. It's finally happened, folks. Buckle in. I think a lot of us have been expecting this for a while. This is the next logical step in the pursuit of open borders. Monday, the Department of Elections issued voter registration forms for non-citizens who are eligible to vote for members of the San Francisco Board of Education in the November 6, 2018 election. The measure passed in 2016 with a close vote of 54% to 46% following 2 failed previous attempts. As a parent myself and a former member of the SF Board of Education, it is critical that the voices of all parents are at the table, particularly those that have historically been denied a voice in the process, said Supervisor Sandra Lee Fewer, who represents District 1. Here it is, folks. There will be no putting everything back into Pandora's box, no putting the toothpaste back into the tube. We are witnessing the next stage in foreign subversion, all the while the media continues to scream, Russia! At the top of their lungs. At this rate, nothing in the Bay Area that is conservative or Republican can ever succeed again, as illegals depend on the assistance from left-wing policies. I should be very clear of what I believe is happening here. The citizens have been replaced. The elite in the Bay Area no longer need to help the needs of those that they were elected to represent. They have a new people to use for their political purposes. This is the great replacement. This needs to be taken care of as soon as possible. I can't imagine that the Supreme Court could do anything about this. Perhaps Trump? Here we have opportunistic politicians exploiting the vulnerable people willing to do anything to become American in order to undermine the will of their constituents. This is not an act of kindness or sympathy to help those who dream of escaping the third world. This is an act of exploitation. These politicians that have allowed this are no better than the smugglers that brought them here at a high cost. When the media and their cronies tell you, we need to help people, this is about the American dream. What about the American people who are dreamers too? What about the people whose families have paid the ultimate price to give us the nation that we have, and now we're supposed to hand it over because a few people felt bigger than the few things we asked them to do before cutting everyone else in line and coming over? What about the people who did everything the system asked them to do to become naturalized? They are now pushed aside to help those that didn't even respect the will of the people enough, of the people they were moving in with, to follow the rules. They felt that they were bigger and better than the rules, and now we're expected just to be okay with it. The average, hardworking citizen has done everything this nation has asked, has followed every law and paid every obscure tax. Now we are supposed to forget about the issues of the citizen because a bunch of people who can't be bothered to make their home a decent place to live can come here, cut everybody in line, but because they brought their child, we're supposed to feel bad for them? This is outrageous. And someone in the political world needs to do something about this. If you think this is an isolated incident, there will be more places following in suit. This is the next logical step in sanctuary laws. We are losing. The more things like this happen, the more we lose grip on our destiny and the future of our people. Every day, Americans struggle to put food on the table, working long days and longer hours. And now those people who have given everything just to stay afloat are forgotten about, so a bunch of people who weren't even supposed to be here get assistance. Not only do we need America First policies, we need Americans First policies. And we will end not with an article, but an image. There are a few small outlets talking about this, but surprise, surprise, nothing from the mainstream media. You would think they would take every opportunity to gloat when their adversaries are silenced, as they have done in the past, but this time, they remain eerily silent. I'm sure some of you might think, a private business can do whatever it wants, and I would agree with you to some extent, but these companies don't tell people who sign contracts that they can't opt out of, that there are certain sites that they won't be allowed to access. I just don't see that entering into the sales pitch at any point. This, like I mentioned with PayPal, is only the beginning. This type of censorship only moves in one direction, as these companies never seem to reverse their stance on silencing those they dislike when given an excuse. Now, more than ever, competitors need to make their opposition to this type of behavior vocal and obvious, and I think most average people that don't follow current events as closely as some would support free speech on principle. It is mostly the salt left that cheers whenever somebody is removed from a public platform. The part I dislike the most is the fact that a corporation somewhere is allowed to decide for me and others what kind of content we're allowed to consume. I don't like the idea of certain content being made more difficult to watch because a few people felt that people they don't even know, have never talked to, shouldn't see certain videos or posts. Not only myself, but most of the internet is responsible enough to determine truth for themselves. And we don't need some information liaison pretending to be our handlers, deciding on our behalf what information we should have access to. If you don't get what this image is, this is somebody on a Virgin network trying to access Breitbart and they're not able to. They're blocked. They are not allowed to access Breitbart from their phone. That will be the end of this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I feel like this is likely a good place to shill my channel and the things happening with it. I will be streaming tonight at 12:30 a.m. Pacific time for my usual midnight show streams, a more uncensored and raw reaction of the day's news stories. If you like these live streams, I have the audio rips available via Patreon of those streams, but there's also an alt channel with those live streams archived in the description below if you're interested in that. Besides that, there's another way you can support the channel besides just watching the videos and liking that smash button. I have some shirts and posters available on Teespring. A link to that is in the description as well if you would like to support the channel while at the same time receiving something physical and tangible for your support. If you're interested in a shirt or a poster, you can use the promo code WILD and you will get free shipping. No matter how you support the channel, be it monetarily through viewership or by sharing the content online, thank you for helping the channel grow. I have had fun watching the channel become more well known, and I've been messing a bit with the format of the videos. One thing I might keep going are the short videos at the end. This one here is an alternative version of the one I played in the last video. I have a lot of these short videos that I make up on my Patreon as well as incentive for people to support the channel. But anyways, thank you again, everybody, and enjoy.
And I just want to thank you because you're very, very special people. You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you because you are special.